Okay, let's move on to our message for today. If you can fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. That is according by Martin Luther King Jr. Very applicable po sa ating panahon ang quotation na ito, panahon ng pandemic, especially sa magiging system of education ngayon sa new normal. Ibig sabihin po marami po tayong mga alternative ways o pamamaraan na pwede nating magamit upang matugunan po natin ang mga pangangailangan ng ating mga estudyante sa panahon ngayon. So good afternoon. Let us proceed to our enrollment for the fourth week accomplishment sa ating school. Meron po tayong 94% or 307 enrollees na sa ating school. Kung mapapansin niyo po, lahat na po ay nakapag achieve ng 100% sa ating school. Mayroon pong nakakompleto ng first week, second week, third week, and then fourth week. Sa kinder po may 59% po tayo or 33. May hindi pa po ako dito na idadagdag or hindi ko pa na-update. Ano po, ito po yung day 16 to 20. Meron po tayo ang 94% or 307 pupils na sa ating school na enrolled na po. Ayan, maraming salamat po sa lahat at sa ating effort sa pagtutulungan po natin para maka-achieve po tayo ng 94% or 300 enrolled pupils sa ating school. Thank you so much po. At this week, I hope ay ma-final na po natin ang lahat ng enrollment. The last day of enrollment or remote enrollment will be done on June 30, 2020. Thank you so much po ulit. Maraming salamat po and congratulations po sa lahat. So, checking of attendance. For your weekly attendance, please visit our website at www.pangahoyes.weebly.com, our school official website. Dito na po tayo attendance. This is our official reporting, including attendance and uploading your all reports for easy and instant uploading and downloading of the resources and other essential data in the school. Kinukuha ko lang naman po ang attendance ng teacher every Monday. That is our login time. So mahalaga po na dapat every Monday ay makapag-attendance tayo. For some reasons na hindi naman po kayo makapag-online due to some problems, inform po kaagad ako at magpa-login sa ating mga kasamahan or pwede din pong sa akin. Wag lang po yung logout kasi may mga individual reports po kayong isasubmit na kailangang mai-attach nyo doon sa inyong logout attendance. So, bali twice lang naman po tayo attendance, log in and log out every Monday and Friday with your reports. May internal arrangement po tayo sa pagsasubmit every Thursday for my early consolidation, and then I'm gonna submit that as well to the office. Mamaya ipapaliwanag ko po kung ano-ano po yung mga dapat nating gawin. Ayan, and welcome sa mga nanonood na sa akin at sa mga oras na ito ay pwede na rin po kayo mag-attendance today, Monday, June 29, 2020, yung summary at the end of this virtual recorded meeting through YouTube. Summary po ng attendance. Pwede po kayo mag-comment for clarification or magtanong habang nanonood po at sasagutin ko po lahat yan pagkatapos ng meeting natin at nang malaman ko din po yung inyong 100% cooperation kung malinaw ko pong naipahatid ang ating topic for today. Maraming salamat po. Alright, let us proceed to DepEd Order Number 11 Series 2020 or the revised guidelines in DepEd during the period of state of national emergency due to COVID-19 pandemic. Ayan, this is the actual look of the DepEd order. DepEd adapts the enclosed revised guidelines on alternative work arrangements in the Department of Education during the period of state of national emergency due to COVID-19 pandemic. So may mga purposes of these guidelines. The following terms are defined consistent with IATF Omnibus Guidelines and the Civil Service Commission Guidelines as follows. So meron po tayong apat dito. First one is enhanced community quarantine or ECQ. We're done with that. And the next one is modified enhanced community quarantine or MECQ. Tapos na rin po dyan. And then general community quarantine or the GCQ. So dito po tayo mag-focus. Ano po dito po tayo papasok? It refers to the implementations of temporary measures limiting movement and transportations, regular of operating industries and presence of uniformed personnel, kasama po dito yung mga teacher, and to enforce community quarantine protocols. And then the last one, ito po yung magiging period ano po after GCQ, the modified general community quarantine or MGCQ. So, mahalaga po sa GCQ ang minimum public health standard. It refers to guidelines set by Department of Health or DOH and Administrative Order number 2020-015 as well as sector relevant guideline issued by national government agencies to aid all sectors in all settings to implement non-pharmaceutical interventions, NPIs, which refer to public health measures that do not involve vaccines, medications, or other pharmaceutical interventions which individuals and communities can carry out. So, ito na yung AWA. Ano po ba yung AWA? Ano po yung unang pumapasok sa isip nyo kapag narinig nyo yung salitang AWA? So, AWA. Ito po ang ibig sabihin. This is Alternative Work Arrangements. So, ito po yung ating pag-aaralan ngayon. Ang ibig pong sabihin ng AWA or Alternative Work Arrangement ay identified by the CSC that government agencies such as the DepEd may adopt individually or in combination during the period of state of national emergency due to COVID-19 pandemic. These include work from home, skeleton workforce, 4-day compressed work week, staggered working hours, or other alternative work arrangement appropriate or applicable to the agency subject to the prevailing community quarantine and the nature of work or job performed by the employees. In its implementations of the alternative work arrangement, DepEd shall continue to be guided by the following framework. Letter A, strict observance of applicable public health measures. Letter B, continuity of delivery of DepEd essential services in priority programs while observing the required health standards. Letter C, preparations of instructional materials. Ayan, at marami pa tayo ditong iba. Planning the organizations of classes and considerations of learning delivery modalities to be employed. Assisting in orienting parents on effective facilitations of home-based learning, facilitations of enrollment of learners for school year 2020 to 2021, preparations of learners for the formal start of classes, gathering of data on the specific context of their learners or access to technological gadgets, capacity of learners for independent learning, and then etc. Participations in the Brigada Eskwela and Upland Balik Eskwela activities, completions of RPMS requirements of the school year 2019 to 2020. Ayan, tapos na tayo dyan. Preparation for the initial activities of RPMS for 2020 to 2021. Ito po yung ating mga ihahanda ngayong taon. Ano po, guided na po tayo sa ating standard template ng ating mga IPCRF. Compliance with required health standards, reportorial requirements, other tasks that may be assigned in support of the DELCP and COVID-19 pandemic response, and then the last one, other activities that may be assigned by the school heads of offices in the CORO and or SDO. Adhering to the principles of school-based management and stakeholders engagement, school CLC heads shall mobilize their stakeholders and allow for community participation to effectively facilitate and implement the essential services, processes, and programs. The CSC guidelines, on the other hand, identified a number of alternative work arrangements, specifically work from home, skeleton workforce, 4-day compressed work week, and staggered working hours. The CSC also provides that agencies may use the combinations of the enumerated work arrangements or adopt alternative work arrangements other than the enumerated work arrangements that are appropriate or applicable to their functions as well as their place of work, subject to the prevailing community quarantine. So, narito po yung ating mga pamimilian. Ano po? Yan. Unahin na po nating i-discuss ang number 1 or work from home. Sa ano po ba ang ibig sabihin ng work from home? Mas kilala siya sa WFH. It refers to output-oriented work arrangement that authorizes the personnel to produce outputs or results and accomplishments outside of the office or school or CLC. Ito po yung work from home arrangements may be allowed for the following task. Ito po yung mga task na sumusunod na gagawin during work from home. Una po, research. Then next, policy formulation, review or amendment. Then we have project work including but not limited to drafting of proposals or project studies or training modules. Data encoding processing, adjudications of cases or review of cases including legal work, budget planning and forecasting, recording, examination and interpretations of financial records and reports, evaluation and formulations of accounting, auditing and management control systems, computer programming, database maintenance, design work or drafting of drawing plans, preparations of information materials, sending or receiving email. Yan, tulad ng ginagawa natin sa school. Ano po? HR task, that is computations of leave credits, preparations of payroll, etc. as the case may be. Other analogous tasks which require the use of a computer and the World Wide Web or Internet for reading, encoding, printing, or submissions of reading outputs for the review, evaluation, or final presentation or assessment of the immediate supervisor, the head of office, or the management. So for the meantime, yung mga isinasubmit po nating mga report ay soft copy po muna kung hanggat maaari. In the context of DepEd, in addition to the task above, the conduct of teaching and learning that can be done remotely, whether for professional development or for formal and non-formal education, may be allowed to be accomplished under a work-from-home arrangement and thus deemed analogous case. To facilitate this arrangement, heads of offices and school or CLC heads shall ensure the following. Number 1. Personnel are given tasks to be performed to the full extent possible in terms of person days per work week. Second, personnel under work from home shall make themselves available and accessible during working hours and must be able to respond to directives, requests, and queries through agreed modes of communication with their immediate supervisors and co-workers. Third, personnel have access to or are provided with appropriate communication equipment or facilities to facilitate coordination, consultation, and administrative processes. Provisions for communication expense shall be provided pursuant to DepEd Order Number 17, Series 2019. Yan, yung mga DepEd Order. Hindi ko na po iisa-isahin. Then number 4, work schedule shall be guided by the following. Letter A, the 8-hour workday shall be observed. Letter B, flexible working hours shall still apply starting from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. until 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Letter C, the time and attendance or the actual time logged in and out shall be monitored as reflected in the office, school, CLC work week plan or inclusion number 2, an individual daily logged and accomplishment report or inclusion number 3 as approved by the head of office. Yung pong inclusion number 2 ay para sa mga school head. At yun naman pong inclusion number 3 ay para naman sa mga teachers. At yun po yung ating i-discuss pa mamaya sa topic na ito. Then letter D, we have no record of accomplishment means no work has been performed for the day, thus subjecting the staff to absence. In addition to personnel authorized to be under work-from-home arrangement, personnel who met the following criteria shall be under work-from-home arrangement except when their services rendered physically in the office or school are indispensable. Ito yung mga work na hindi maiiwasan na mag-report physically or when office work is already permitted for all. First, personnel who are 21 years old and below. Second, personnel who are 60 years old and above. Personnel who are at high risk of infection, including but not limited to pregnant women, those with immunodeficiency comorbidities or other health risk illnesses, and pre-existing medical conditions. Suspect case and COVID-19 probable case, including those who reside with a suspect or probable case, and personnel who encounter difficulty reporting to office or school or CLC due to the imposition of strict home and or local community quarantine, curfew, limited or no access to any available modes of transportations options, and or other regulatory limitations on intermunicipality or city travel. Yan, at tumako na tayo sa skeletal workforce. Ito po yung number 2 or WFS. Ano ba yung WFS? Yun natin dito. So, it refers to the operational capacity which utilizes the smallest number of people needed for a business or organizations to maintain its basic functions. In determining the compositions of the skeleton workforce, heads of offices and school or CLC heads shall be guided by the following parameters. First, in the indications of the personnel who shall be included in the skeleton or physically reporting workforce, the individual personnel's roles and functions held in safety conditions and transportation arrangements shall be considered. Number 1, personnel whose tasks can only be rendered within the office or school or CLC premises may be required to physically report to their respective workstations. Second, or number 2, school or CLC personnel may be allowed to render services and perform tasks in the school or CLC premises when a work-from-home arrangement or online modality is not feasible based on the assessment of the SDO. So we have here, second, health and safety conditions and travel limitations shall be taken into consideration in identifying the personnel who shall form part of the skeleton workforce. Officers shall endeavor to provide transportation, that is office shuttles, transportation's allowance, and accommodation, that is dormitory support, subject to existing guidelines. Issuance of a travel office order approved by the head of the office and IATF certification or pass, in addition to the DepEd ID for proper identification. Ito naman po yung kanilang daily work schedule na dapat ay guided sa mga sumusunod. Number 1, for personnel physically reporting to the office or school CLC, the workday may consist of 6 hours on site at the workstation and 2 hours on work from home arrangement. This is to allow sufficient time for travel given the impositions of curfew hours, limited access to transportation, and other regulatory limitations on the interzonal or cross-border travel. Number 2, we have the time and attendance, or the actual time logged in and out shall be monitored using the logbook or other daily time record DTR mechanisms that will not require contact as reflected in office or school CLC work week plan. Inclusion number 2, yan yung para sa mga school head. And the individual daily lagged and accomplishment report, inclusion number 3 as approved by the head of office. Yan naman po yung para sa mga teacher, yung enclosure number 2. And number 3, no record of accomplishment means no work has been performed for the day, thus subjecting the staff to absence. Okay, let's proceed to number 3, other alternative work arrangements, or the what we called AWA. Siyempre dito po magfo-fall yung ating school, so ito po yung ating dapat pagtuunan ng pansin. Okay, at i-discuss ko po sa inyo ng malinaw po yung mga nakapaloob dito sa AWA. May mga bahagi po ito. May mga iba't ibang uri ng AWA. Ang una po ay yung 5-day physical reporting work week on 2-week shifting or rotation. It is a system of rotations of work that will ensure reduced person-to-person contact and exposure observant of the 14-day quarantine period due to probable exposure and easier contact tracing if any personnel is infected or suspected to be infected. Ayan, table 1, illustrative example of the 2-week shifting or rotations of work. Kung napapansin nyo po, kakaunti lang ang employees dito. Ito po ay applicable lamang sa mga maliliit na school. Ito ay applicable sa mga maliliit na school na meron ding kakaunting employees. Yan, nakikita nyo yung pang isang buwan nilang work week plan, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Physical reporting po sila magkasunod na linggo kasi kakaunti naman po sila, hindi magdadami dun sa workplace. Then after noon ay magkasunod naman na work from home, week 3, week 4 para sa personal ABC. Then yung kasunod na batch ay personal DEF, sila yung second batch. Work from home muna sila para hindi sila sumabay dun sa naunang batch, and then after that, physical reporting sila in 2 consecutive weeks. In these alternative work arrangements, heads of offices shall observe the following parameters. Ito po ay susundin. Yung number 1, a system of rotation shall be established such that an individual shall be in contact and exposed only to a specific persons or group of persons. Switching of rotation shall be allowed under exceptional circumstances such as but not limited to health, safety, or other compelling personal reasons. The workforce is divided into 2 batches. The number of personnel physically reporting to work for each batch shall not exceed 50% of the total workforce. Katulad niyang example sa table 1, merong 6 na employee, dinivide lang sila sa 2 batches kasi kakaunti po sila. Kaya may tig-3 lang sa bawat batches. Hindi dapat mag-exceed sa 50%. So number 4, after completing the 2 work week physical reporting rotation, the personnel shall observe home quarantine for a period of 14 days or 2 work weeks while reporting on a work from home basis. Yan, habang nag-work from home basis sila, gagawin po nila yung mga possible na ginagawa dapat during work from home basis. Number 5, personnel shall be allowed to resume physical reporting to office or school only when there is no manifestations of any COVID-related or COVID-like symptoms. Ayan, kung napansin nyo, nagpahinga sila ng kay personal ABC, nagpahinga sila ng week 3 to 4. Yun na yung pinakang quarantine period nila, home quarantine for a period of 14 days. Kung wala namang simptomas na nagmamanifest sa kanila, pwede na uli silang mag-report sa school. Yan, alternate, 2 consecutive weeks. Ang tawag po natin doon ay 2-week shifting or rotation of work. Okay, dumako na tayo sa letter B. 4-day physically reporting work week and 1-day work from home on weekly shifting or rotations of work. Yan yung naman nasa table 2. At ito yung applicable naman para sa mga malalaking school tulad natin. Ano po na may maraming employees. So, basahin natin kung bakit tayo dito nag-fall sa category na ito. Ayan, ang tawag natin sa table 2 ay illustrative example of the weekly shifting or rotation of work. Kung napapansin nyo, may tig-dadalwa lang sa bawat batches at ito ay nahahati sa 4 na batches. Kinakailangan po na tayo ay meron talagang skeletal workforce. Kailangan po ay nagre-report din tayo physically sa school. Ano po? Kung hindi naman po high risk yung ating lugar, sa atin naman po dito sa Calawag, low risk na po tayo. Ano po? Table 2 will apply or applicable in our workplace. Ngayon, meron din pong week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. But compare doon sa naunang table, ito po ay shifting. Ano po? Monday to Thursday physical reporting, then the last remaining days every Friday is work from home. Then week 2 we have Monday to Friday or work from home. Week 3 balik po uli dun sa Monday to Thursday physical reporting, then Friday work from home. Week 4 Monday to Friday work from home. Basahin natin yung guidelines bakit kung paano po ito nangyari. In this type of alternative work arrangement, heads of offices and school or CLC heads shall observe the following parameters. Number 1, a system of rotation shall be established such that an individual shall be in contact and exposed only to a specific persons or group of persons. Number 2, switching of rotation shall only be allowed under exceptional circumstances such as but not limited to health, safety, or other compelling personal reasons. Number 3, the workforce is divided into 4 batches. The number of personnel physically reporting to work for each batch shall not exceed 25% of the total workforce. Yan, 25% lamang sa workplace. So tayo, 13 tayo, i-divide natin sa 4 batches. Magkakaroon lang po ng tig-tatlo sa bawat batches. Yun po ay 25% na yung tig-tatlo. Ako sumama lang po ako dun sa una kasi on call naman ako. So anytime pwede po akong available sa lahat ng batch. And then number 4, each batch shall physically report to work for 4 days. After physically reporting to work, the personnel shall be required to be on home quarantine for a period of 10 calendar days while reporting on a work from home basis during work days. Ito po kung bakit hindi pwede tayong mag-consecutive ng pag-duty ng school for 2 consecutive work from home or 2 consecutive skeletal workforce kasi meron po tayong tinatawag na 10 calendar days home quarantine. Mag-home quarantine tayo after natin mag-physical reporting sa school. The number 5, personnel shall be allowed to resume physical reporting to office or school or CLC only when there is no manifestations of any COVID-related or COVID-like symptoms. Kung wala namang nakitang sintomas sa inyo habang nag-work from home kayo or home quarantine within 10 calendar days, and then go and pwede kayong mag-report sa school physically. Number 6, for personal physical reporting to the office, school, or CLC, the workday may consist of 6 hours on-site at the workstation and the 2 hours on work-from-home arrangement. So, kahit nag-physical reporting po kayo, hindi naman siya 8 hours ang physical reporting sa school. Pwede kayong yung 2 hours ay gawin yung work-from-home na lang, base sa ating arrangement, and this is to allow sufficient time for a travel given the impositions of curfew hours, limited access to transportations, and other regulatory limitations on the interzonal or cross-border travel. So ito po muna yung aking ginawang weekly shifting rotations of work sa ating school na sisimulan po natin ng July 6 to 31 July 6 to July 31, 2020. Hinati ko po ang mga empleyado into 4 batches. Ayan, nakikita nyo may mga kulay-kulay naman ang batch dyan. Batch 1 ay si Ma'am Buena, Ma'am Grace, Ma'am Leila, at kasama po ako doon. Ako naman po pwedeng umikot doon sa bawat batches, ano po, every month. Pwede po sa batch 2 naman ako sa susunod na buwan. And then batch 2, sila Sir Jao, Ma'am Alma, and then Ma'am Love. Batch 3 ay si Sir Pony, Ma'am Tess, and Ma'am Thelma. And then batch 4, we have Ma'am Alarcon, Ma'am Sibyal, and then Ma'am Rose. Yan, mayroon po tayo ditong week 1. Makikita nyo din yung mga date ng bawat week, ano po, kung kailan. Week 2, week 3, and week 4. So, ito po yung magiging basihan nyo dun sa paggawa ng inyong individual daily log and accomplishment report. So, nandyan, ano po, alternate po or shifting rotation of work. Yung batch 1, sa July 6 to 10. At saka yung batch 2 ay physical. Yan, kung mapapansin nyo po yung batch 1 sa week 1 ay physical reporting ng Monday, Thursday. Sa Friday po ay work from home sila. And then batch 2, ang kanilang work from home naman ay Monday. And then Tuesday to Friday, sila yung physical reporting. So magpapangita pa rin ano po ng ilang araw, pero hindi naman sila magsasabay-sabay sa isang workplace. Then week 2, sila po ay home quarantine na at work from home basis. So patuloy pa rin po yung paggagawa po nila ng report doon sa ilalim ng work from home guidelines, kung ano po yung mga possible na gawin nilang report sa bahay. Ano po, work from home, Monday to Friday, yan yung home quarantine period nila, 10 days. Kung napapansin niyo po sa batch 3 and batch 4, sa week 1 sila po ay work from home. And then week 2, alternate, sila ay physical reporting. Magsisimula ang kanilang physical reporting ay Monday to Thursday. Then po, ano po, yung batch 3 at yung batch 4 ay start ng physical reporting ng Tuesday to Friday. Monday ay work from home pa rin sila. Malinaw naman po ano po ang ating graphical illustrations ng ating weekly shifting rotations of work. Yan po ay base sa DepEd Order number 11 series 2020. So kung may mga hindi isang pangyayari sa inyo po, ano po, kung kayo po ay magsabi po sa akin ng maaga para sa internal arrangement. Pero ito po yung ating susundin dapat, ano po, sa ating school, since ang ating school ay malaki naman at required po din naman talaga ang physical reporting for our full operational services sa station. So yung letter C naman ay 4-day compressed work week, staggered working hours, or other alternative work arrangement. So dito napapasok yung mga inyong internal arrangement regarding kung may mga problem that will be arise during this reporting to the school or work from home. Hindi na po natin masyadong pagtutuunan ng pansin ang letter C. So let's proceed to safe return to work. So heads of offices and school or CLC heads shall implement the required health standard at all times. Head of offices and school CLC heads shall conduct meetings utilizing video conferencing, teleconferencing technologies whenever applicable, minimizing face-to-face interaction among personnel, and adhering to IATF and DOH restrictions on mass gatherings. So kahit low risk po tayo, ay ini-encourage pa rin po talaga sa atin na no face-to-face ang mass gatherings katulad ng mga meetings. Ano po kaya ginagawa natin ito? Through video conferencing or teleconferencing, katulad po nitong recorded virtual meeting of school head to the teachers through YouTube platforms. Minsan po tayo naman ay live, gamit po natin doon ay Google Meet. Yan, kung saan pwede tayong mag-meeting live. And then Heads of offices and schools, CLC heads shall implement health, psychosocial support interventions to personnel like health and wellness sessions, stress debriefing, among others. So, gagawin rin po natin ito sa mga susunod pa nating meeting. So, let's move on to your performance monitoring. So, hindi po ito naaalis. Ano po ang monitoring? Meron po tayo ditong table. Performance monitoring and attendance mechanism shall be followed regardless of the type of alternative work arrangements to be used. Ito po yung summary of alternative work arrangement forms. Ito ay nakikita natin dito yung inclusion number 2. Ginagawa yan ng school head. Ang tawag dyan ay CLC work week plan. Para sa school head yan. And then yung para sa teacher, ang tawag naman natin ay individual daily log and accomplishment report inclusion number 3. So ako po ay naglagay na ng copy nito sa ating website. You can download the forms of inclusion number 3. So may dalawa po yun. Ano, para sa first shifting nyo, and then the next one is the second shifting, yung work from home. O depende sa schedule nyo po kung ano yung gagamitin nyo dyan sa dalawa. So prepared by, lagi namang ilalagay nyo sa ilalim na yung inyong pangalan. Yan, nakalagay. I-approve ang inclusion number 2 ng head of office. Doon naman sa number 3, inclusion number 3, approve ko po. Yan, submitted to, sasubmit sa DO. Yung sa inyo po, sasubmit sa district. Then, schedule of preparations ng work week plan ko. Beginning of week, ang tawag po namin dito ay may target deliverables. Dapat may target deliverables na po kami ng mga gagawin this coming week, beginning of week, bago magsimula yung ating physical reporting or work from home. And then yung inyo po ay syempre i-report nyo ito end of week kasi accomplishment reports po ng mga teachers. So during logout, i-upload nyo na po sa website para po automatically mag-consolidate na po ito doon at madali ko pong makikita ang inyong mga reports. So I am hoping that everybody will participate in the uploading of online reports in our website. Salamat po sa mga gumagamit at bumibisita na po sa ating website. So, ginagawa ko pa po ang lahat para po ito ay mas ma-improve pa. At marami pa tayo ditong mailagay na mga mahalagang information regarding sa mga data, essential data and information na dapat malaman ng mga teachers. So for personal physically reporting to the office or school CLC, the workday may consist of 6 hours on site at the workstations and 2 hours on work from home arrangement. This is to allow sufficient time for travel given the impositions of curfew hours, limited access to transportation and other regulatory limitations on the interzonal or cross-border travel. Yan. Sa bahay na lang po yung 2 hours gawin. After 6 hours, you can report sa school naman. At syempre, open naman po ako sa inyo pong schedule kung may mga conflict schedules. Sige, sabihin lang po sa akin. Yan. Pero we have to follow the guidelines, yung may home quarantine, dapat po nasusunod po natin yon. At the end of each work week, the personnel shall be required to submit an individual daily log and accomplishment report or inclusion number 3, indicating the accomplishment of agreed target and outputs as reflected in the office, the school or CLC work week plan. The work week plan and individual personnel's accomplished outputs shall be the basis of the weekly performance monitoring and assessment by the heads of the functional office or school CLC or immediate supervisor or raters. Heads of offices or school or CLC heads shall approve and certify the submissions of the electronic copies of the enclosures with their digital electronic signature, especially in cases where the individual personnel is under work from home arrangement or exempted to report As a skeleton or physically reporting workforce, the individual personnel is allowed to sign the original printed copies when such is already feasible. So, pwede lang natin gawin yung actual na pirma kung tayo ay allowed ang pag-meet online. So, for the meantime, isubmit nyo lang po muna ang inyong digital or electronic signature and soft copies of all the reports. Kung physical naman po, edi pwede nyo po sa akin isubmit ang hard copy with your original sign if it is feasible. So, let's move on to work hours. Section 5, Rule 17 of the Omnibus Rules implementing Book 5 of EO 292 states that all government officials and personnels are required to render 8 hours or 8 working hours a day for 5 days a week, or a total 40 hours a week excluding time for lunch, in compliance thereto and to the provisions set forth in CSC MC number 10 series 2020, the guidelines in this exceeding section on attendance monitoring are adopted relative to work hours during this period of national emergency situation. Okay, then we have attendance monitoring. Okay, basahin ko lang. Ang attendance monitoring shall be guided by the following. The time in attendance or the actual time logged in and out, regardless of alternative work arrangement, shall be monitored using office, school, CLC work week plan or inclusion number 2. Tawag natin doon ay work week plan. And yun sa inyo naman, inclusion number 3 ay individual daily logged and accomplishment report as approved by the head of office. Personnel reporting for duty, whether on-site or off-site, shall check in with their immediate supervisor through the agreed mode of communication to record their actual time in and out and reflect the same in the individual daily log and accomplishment report. So, madali naman po sa atin ang attendance. Ano po, ginagawa natin sa ating website every Monday and Friday. And then, of course, yung pinakamahalaga yung inyong accomplishment report. No record of time, log, and accomplishment shall mean that no work has been rendered or performed for the day, thus subjecting the personnel to absence. Letter D, personnel shall ensure that they are available during the agreed working hours and readily accessible through agreed modes of communication in order to respond to directives, requests, and queries. Aside from the submissions of individual daily log and accomplishment report or inclusion number 3, personnel assigned as a skeleton or physically reporting workforce may also record the actual time log on the days they are physically reporting to work using the logbook or daily log or other daily time record or DTR mechanisms that will not require contact. Use of biometric machines is highly discouraged during this period to minimize contact. ESC Form 48 or the DTR of those who form part of the skeleton physically reporting workforce shall reflect the report of the hours of work performed by the personnel, record of which was made daily at the time of arrival or time in and departure, time out from workstation's office. The DTR certified and approved by the head of office or immediate supervisor shall be submitted to the personnel division section unit every 10th day of the succeeding month together with the approved individual work week accomplishment report. So kasama po yung inyong mga reports sa isasubmit. Ano po yung individual work week accomplishment report? So that's all about DepEd Order number 11 Series 2020, and we will have a discussions for your clarifications and other concerns here. Mag-comment lang po at syempre i-discuss ko po at sasagutin po lahat ng mga tanong nyo sa ating work week plan na gagawin sa ating school.